Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. It means it's time for another live stream. Today is Thursday, March 24th, 2022. And because it's Thursday, it means we're going to do a happy hour today. Today, I'm going to be trying body armor. You guys have seen it probably everywhere. I see it at the grocery store all the time. I feel like it's always on clearance. They're always like seemingly trying to get rid of it. And today, I was like, you know what? For the happy hour, that's what I'm going to do. They're selling them 10 for $10. I think if you just bought one, you could have got one for $1 too. But I went through the bin. There was like a big giant bin that you had to rummage through. And I got one of every flavor that I could find there. So I have 9 different flavors of body armor. We're going to try them. But first, let's say hi to everybody in the podcast listening to the audio only version. Hopefully you're having a good run out there today. I had my first run since the marathon last Sunday. I was going to go for a bike ride, but it was supposed to rain during the run, and I'm not that confident in my cycling skills. So I just didn't want to be out on a bike in the rain. So I went for a run, 6 miles, took me about an hour. Felt really good out there. So hopefully you guys are having a really good run out there today too. And it didn't even rain that much, so I totally could have been on the bike, but either way, I had a good day out there, nice and relaxed and feeling pretty good. Surprisingly good. I mean, I'm not ready to go like do a workout tomorrow, but I'm feeling good. So everything is moving as it should. All right, everyone listening to this and watching this on YouTube later in the evening, maybe you just got home from work. Hopefully you had a great day and you can kick back and relax. All right, let's say hi to everyone in the live stream. Martha was here earlier, but she had an appointment at noon Mountain Time, so she couldn't be here. But you'll be missed, Martha. Duke BB says, I really enjoy the body armor. Here's the thing. So you just spelled it, Duke, body armor, the way that Under Armour is spelled. And Frank says, for some reason, I read this as Under Armour super drink. And he thought the direction of Under Armour was pretty surprising. Yeah, I don't know. I hope I typed it up correctly in the YouTube listing for today, but it is spelled like body and armor, the correct way. Like at least I guess the American spelling, and it's called super drink. That's what they call it. So like I didn't just call it super drink. Super drink sounds like a really weird made up name. I mean, I bet you they spent a long time like spitballing that, brainstorming that, doing like copyright checks on it, trademark checks on it, and like the best thing that they can come up with, super drink. Either that, they're like, all right, guys, it's Friday, 2:30, let's get out of here. We just got to think of a name for this drink. Let's call it Body Armor Super Drink. Done. Let's go. Maybe that's how it happened. I'm not sure. But there's a whole bunch of different flavors. And yeah, let's get into that. Because I think I'm going to have to, there's 9 flavors here. So there's a lot I have to get through. So something that I didn't really realize about this is that I think they're all coconut waters. It has natural flavors and sweeteners, coconut water, electrolytes, antioxidants, and B vitamins. So there we go. That's kind of cool. So it says that like on the side of the packaging. And so coconut water is like down there. But I have 2 kinds. I have the superior hydration kind. And then I have this low calorie kind, which is no sugar added. So there's another one. I guess so it's kind of like noon and noon endurance maybe. The low sugar kind, the low calorie kind is I guess lower calorie. It's 20 calories per serving versus 120. But you're still getting carbohydrates. This still has 18 grams of carbs for the whole thing. So I guess that's good. Yeah, so I think that's good. Because if you're trying to use it for like as a sports drink, that's all right. But low calorie and sports drink kind of don't go together in my mind. So I don't know what kind of weird math that they're doing. Sugar math still doesn't make sense to me. All right, let's keep saying hi to everyone before let's talk about this first one. Let's do fruit punch first because I've been waving it around. Let's try. We got to get into this one. I'm sure I've had one of these before. Probably have fruit punch because I always go with red when it comes to sports drinks, but we'll try this one. I got so many flavors. Some of these flavors are kind of goofy too, so we'll have to see. Cheers. This tastes good. This tastes like high C. I like this. Doesn't taste like coconut water. Frankly, I'm not really sure what coconut water tastes like, but it just tastes like fruit punch. There's a little bit of like a viscosity to it at the end, a little bit thicker at the end. So it doesn't feel exactly like high C or like a fruit. Oh no, you know what it tastes like? the Minute Maid fruit punch, the red one. So it tastes like, and at the end, it's almost like it's a little bit stickier. It leaves a little bit of like a film as an aftertaste, but good. I like that flavor. Pretty cheap. So this is if you get it on sale like I did, 16 ounces for $1. I feel like this is a pretty good deal. I don't think you could buy water for that cheap. I mean, granted, this is a drink on sale versus water. I don't know. I don't think you can buy a 16-ounce bottle of water for $1 anymore. Maybe. I don't know. All right. Let me scroll down and try to keep up with you guys in the chat. Sorry about that. Eric says, do I feel body armored now? No, I feel like I just drank some Minute Maid fruit punch. That's about it. And Luis Becerra says, Kobe Bryant funded this drink till they sold it. Now they're the official drink of the NBA. But yes, I like the fruit punch flavor. Well, you know what? That is a good idea to get to the next flavor. I like to kind of put a little bit more of a gap between it. But since we got so many flavors, this one, I was wondering why they did this. That makes a lot more sense, Lise. Strawberry grape, Mamba Forever. Like, this is Lakers colors, right? So it's like 8 and 24, right? So about Mamba mentality, constant quest to be the best version of oneself. Strawberry grape. I don't know about strawberry grape, but still same thing. 28 grams of carbs, 40 milligrams of salt, 120 calories. I wish there was more salt in this though, because I feel like I don't know, to be like a sport drink. I mean, is that what this is supposed to be? Like a sport drink? It says superior hydration on all of it. Now, this one says Mamba Forever, and it does not say superior hydration. So it makes no claims as to hydration on this one. But I don't know. We'll have to see. Cheers. It smells like candy. I don't taste strawberry in that hardly at all. I taste mostly grape. It just tastes like grape juice. So far, everything that I've drank, I guess I've tasted two. But I tasted two, and they both taste like juice boxes. The fruit punch tastes like Minute Maid front fruit punch, and the strawberry grape tastes like juicy juice. Midlife Runner wants to know, have you tried the Audio 6 yet? Nice and snappy. Love them as much as Ed Bud. I have. I've been using them like I used the Boston 9. So I've used them on some workouts, and I've also used them just as like a regular daily trainer, and it works for me there. So it's like a lighter daily trainer. I just really enjoy the shoe. Like, I feel like if they just like snuck in a little bit of boost in the heel, it would have been a great like Boston 9 replacement. I mean, it wouldn't have taken much, but just like a little bit, because the Audio 5 had boost. But anyway, I know why they didn't. I mean, I understand that they didn't use boost. But yeah, so Eric Paramount says Purple Mamba is my assassin name. Yeah, Daniel says congrats on new PR co. Hell of a race. Thanks so much, Daniel. Yeah, and it was a good day. I've been really thinking about like the number was good, but I feel like the most important thing from it was just like a breakthrough. Just kind of like really understanding like what is my body. I've hit the wall hard in a couple of races. I've done a lot of walking in some races recently. And so like, I think, really understanding the difference between when that's going to happen and when I'm just at the end of a race and have to dig, I think understanding that difference is really important. I feel like, if I had a Coach Jimmy and a Flores at CIM, I definitely would have broke 3, because I feel like there were times there where I slowed down in CIM in places that Jimmy and Flores didn't let me slow down in LA, and I was able to keep pushing through. I wasn't moving fast, but I was at least able to keep going a little bit faster than I would have, a lot faster than I would have. So, that's the main takeaway for me. All right. Pedro says, Super Drink sounds like a 1980 name product. It does. If it was just like radical thirst quenching, I guess is like a Gatorade thing, but like if it was just had like radical in it, that'd be that's the only word it's missing. Radical somewhere in the title. Yeah, so far it's good. Scott says I'm drinking noon today. Yeah, Noon would work as well. I'm like low on noon. I don't know. I need to make another order to the feed, I think, because I need some more. I had to drink for my protein drink today. I drank that spicy chocolate recovery drink. I just don't like it. I don't like the spice on it. I was just thinking though, remember how we tried the Soy Ultra the other day? Or like maybe a couple months ago now? I think I should just start buying the Soy Ultra. I like the Soy Ultra. One thing about it is it takes up a lot of space in the grocery bag on the way home. You know? So like I walk my groceries home. So like anything that's heavy has to be walked. And so like I don't want to walk home. Not that a half gallon is all that heavy, but when it's like with all the other groceries, that's the only thing that's slowing me down on the Soy Ultra. But yeah. Mark says, I get these every so often. They're pretty good. Yeah, I've been liking the two that I've had so far. All right, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to go with the tropical coconut. Now, this is the low-calorie version. 20 calories versus 120 calories per serving. Here's what I'm doing. I'm trying to take like a big swig of these like I would like after a run, or if I was like taking these like resting in between like reps or something like that. But there's 9 of these. I'm going to end up drinking a lot of this stuff over the course of today. But let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Tropical coconut. Like I like coconut flavored. I mean, I guess I like most coconut flavored things, but I'm trying to think like coconut water always sounds so unappetizing. But hopefully if it's tropical, it looks like there's pineapples on the thing. And it smells pineapple-y. Maybe mango in here. Whenever things say tropical, I usually like it. So, let's see. Tastes like a pina colada. It's actually really nice. I like this one a lot. I think I just want to freeze this one up. This is good. Whoa, I didn't think I was going to like this one. Why do I like this so much? I shouldn't like this. But I do. I mean, I like to eat coconut. And I guess I like coconut in curries. But yeah, this is good. All right, I think Dad Runner Al had a question. Where'd it go? Oh, anyone pick up the Speed Goat 5s yet? Yeah, Hoka sent me a pair. I have to film it still, at least kind of the B-roll stuff first. I was thinking I might get to run them this weekend. I don't think I'm going to do that. My wife's going to have to go out of town this weekend. So I'm going to be home with the kids alone. I'm not sure what kind of running I'll be able to do. I'm debating. Either way, that means I probably won't test the Speed Goat 5s for the first time today. Or this weekend, because we'll be in Chicago. I don't want to test them in Chicago. But the other thing is, I'm debating, like, my daughter's 10, very independent. My other daughter's 5. Can I leave them alone for like an hour? Like, they'll be looking at their iPads the entire time, and they can FaceTime me if there's a problem. And I'll kind of stay closer. But I just want to go out and get like 6 in this weekend. Maybe I'll have to go to the treadmill room downstairs. But, I'm going to have to run that by my wife. I don't think she's going to like that idea. But in either event, I won't be able to test them this weekend. I mean, I'm thinking like I have a bunch of trail shoes right now. So I'm thinking what I'd like to do is, either the next time we go to Iowa, which will be like in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, I think, or I guess 3 weekends, we'll be going to Iowa. I'll just bring them all. And I'll do a bunch of trail running, kind of like the last time I was out there. And then, so we'll have to do, I think I'll probably have to do that. Oh, but other news. So I've picked out a route for Saturday, I think it's April 2nd, for the Cherry Blossom 10 miler in DC. That route has some turns in it. It's mostly like, jogging trails and like paved trails and stuff. Pathways and things like that. I think it's going to be a nice little route. It actually is some of the same Cherry Blossom 10 miler route. So if you're not running the race, this will be a good time to like go for a run and check out the Cherry Blossoms. But I think that's where I'll test that'll be the ultimate test for me for the Garmin 945 LTE, because that's going to require some good mapping. Because there, I've run in the mall area before. I've run in DC before. There's many trails that are very close together, right? But like sometimes you'll like have two paths that are like parallel, and then one will curl off, and the other one curls the other way, and you got to be on the right one. So I feel like that'll be a good test for the 945 LTA. I'm not sure exactly what time we're going to be there, but I've been reaching out to Thomas at Believe in the Run. Thomas is going to be up there. Megan's going to be up there. I was listening to their podcast this morning on my run. I think Robbie's going up there too. I don't know who else is going. So hopefully we'll be able to see them as well. So hopefully it'll be a good time. If I'm not a big enough draw, hopefully maybe you want to see Robbie. Or you want to see Thomas or Megan. So then you can come up. I don't know if they're all coming to the run, but I've been texting Thomas today. So hopefully we'll be able to all get together. So that'll be fun. 2 Saturdays from now. All right. Dad wants to know, like, do you think the upper is more stretchy than normal on the Speed Goat? So, like, my experience with the Speed Goat is the Speed Goat 4, like that collab edition one. So I think it's a little bit, it's possible that mine is a little bit different, but I think it's pretty similar ultimately. And I think that the 5, I haven't really looked too closely at it yet, but the main thing that I need to check is what is that part on the top of the vamp, on top of the toe box like. I don't like the way that the Speed Goat 4 is designed, where there's that piece on top of like extends past the tongue and on top of like the toe box. It's almost like a little diamond of material. On the 10.9, I just looked at the Tecton X, on the Tecton X, and I think on the Speed Goat Evo, that part in the middle is stretchy, which I think is important because then as your foot expands during the longer hours of an ultra, it expands with you. On the Speed Goat 4, that part was like some sort of like pleather or a synthetic material that was not forgiving. And I think that's what makes the toe box seem so tight and unforgiving on the Speed Goat 4. I don't like the toe box on the Speed Goat 4. I feel like it's wrong. I feel like I need to size up. But, I mean, the shoe fits though. I think it's just, that's how it's designed. So like that's going to be a big, what that diamond shaped part is like is going to be a big factor in how I like the Speed Goat 5, I think. But I'll have to, I have to run in it to be sure, to figure it out. Hopefully soon. All right. Midlife Runner says, my 11-year-old watches my 3-year-old. She's independent for an 11-year-old, and they have FaceTime and can call me. Yeah, see, that's what I think. I mean, my parents left me alone when I was like 6, 7 years old for like an hour or two. They would like wait for the Domino's pizza guy to deliver, and they'd be like, all right, we're going. So like, that's what they would do. They would usually take my little sister so I wouldn't have to watch her. But they would leave me home when I was really young. 8, 9, definitely. My wife would say, what is like the law say in Illinois about like when kids can be left home alone? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, it's not 10. So I'm like, okay, we'll follow the law, I guess. But I'm like, but my daughter's really independent. Our daughter's really independent. So Jeff Elliott says, as a person who grew up in the 70s and 80s, the question seems insane, but as a parent today, I get it. Yeah. So like, yeah, I grew up at a time where like I just got left alone for hours at a time, and like I had no way to contact my parents. I mean, we had a phone, but like I didn't know what number to call them at. So like, yeah. So yeah, and I was fine. I mean, on the other hand, I say frequently that I was raised by television, and I was watching like late night, like way earlier than I should have been, as like a person, a growing human, kind of thing. But I turned out relatively okay, I think. Scott wants to know, is fartlek a good racing strategy for a 10 miler? Yeah, I think so. It depends on like what you're trying to get out of it. I would, for a 10 miler, it's kind of like go out at half marathon pace. And then once you get to 10K, crank it down and just start really pushing and like push harder than you think you can. That's what I think is a good strategy for a 10 miler. I haven't raced a 10 miler in a long time. I still haven't looked up what my 10 mile PR is, but I was thinking about it today. If I continue to feel this good, going into the race in 2 weekends, I'm gonna make a PR attempt at it. That's the nice, lovely thing about a 10 miler. If you totally screw it up, you're you're fine. You're not gonna really like hurt yourself too bad, you know. So like you could swing for the fences. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. Tentatively, I'm thinking I'm gonna go out at 20-minute 5K pace and see how many 5Ks I can hold that for. I think I can maybe hold it for 2 5Ks. Can I hold it for 3 or more? That'll be the question. So that's going to be like I think for a 10 miler, the strategy is crash and burn. You know, if you didn't crash and burn, you didn't run hard enough, I feel like. Because it's short. It's not a half marathon, you know, it's short. Yeah. And Midlife Runner says about his kids, 11 and 3, he does 60 minutes around the hit. Okay, that's what I'm planning on doing. So, yeah. Innes says about the Speed Goat 5s. He's like, looking forward to see how you get on with the Speed Goat 5s. I wonder if there's going to be a new Torrent out. I don't know. I haven't seen another Torrent. I haven't seen the Torrent 3. But, you know, I think that, like, this year, I'm thinking Hoka's, like, this year going to have a lot of stuff coming out, like, after the summer. Like, I think, like, the stuff that normally comes out in the summer may be coming out a little bit later. I could be wrong on that. And then, like, any company that says, like, this shoe's coming out this month is kind of, like, crossing their fingers and hoping. You know? So, it's going to be a weird year. So, we'll see. Like, when I was at TRE, they weren't showing me anything that was, I mean, they had some stuff, like I saw the new Mafate, but they had some stuff that was coming out after June, but they were like, let's focus on stuff. We'd like to talk about the stuff that's before June, you know? So I'm like, sure. Because I don't like to talk about stuff like a year out, you know? So. Viklam says, which 22 brand lineup are you most excited about? I'm certainly excited about ASICs for sure. I've seen some more photos of the Metaspeed Sky 2, and then I got to talk to some of the ASICs pros over the weekend that have been running in the Metaspeed Sky 2. And they're very excited about it too. I mean, they're talking about it in ways that I'm like, yeah, I can see why some pros might be like a little bit wary about some of those things, or it might take you guys a little bit to get used to because you're so efficient. But I'm like, for an inefficient guy like me, all that stuff you're saying sounds great. So I really am excited about it. Excited about the Nova Blast 3. And I just think that some of the color work that I've seen already that's coming out is like modernizing, and it's going to be really good. I'm very excited. So that's probably number one. I'm excited for Hoka. I think they're going to have a good year this year. I don't think that they're going to have like, you know, I don't think they're going to have a top tier carbon plated shoe. I love the Carbon X3, but I don't think it's a race shoe. I haven't seen anything about a Rocket X update. So I don't know about that shoe. It's a good shoe. I don't love it. So like, that's where I feel like there's a big hole in their lineup, but I think that what they're doing with their shoes, it's going to be, I mean, because they had such a good year last year, if they just do incremental improvements, I think that's still a really good year. And then I'm trying to think, like New Balance and Saucony, I think New Balance is going to have a better year than Saucony. I'm not sure, but that's kind of my gut. And I just don't know. All their stuff, every year, New Balance stuff always looks so exciting. And then when it actually gets on people's feet, it's like, some of this stuff panned out, some of it didn't. So like my enthusiasm is usually pretty tempered with New Balance. But I think that's definitely a brand that I'm excited about as well. Those I think would be the three. Adam says like, leave them alone. 10 years old, yes. 5 years old, no. And not with the 10-year-old. 10 may be a little young to watch. Depends on the kids. Yeah, I mean, I think that they're going to be okay. I'll just deprive them of iPad time before I head out. And then they'll be like, finally, Daddy left, so now I can watch iPad. And then they'll be good. Adam says, can they bike alongside as you run? I thought about that, and my wife was like, well, just take the baby in the jogging stroller. But we have the jogging stroller at Grandma's house, so that we don't have that here. And the bikes are at Grandma's house too. Sorry, it's getting dark in here. So they have their scooters, I just don't think that they'd want to be out there for an hour. I know that they wouldn't want to scooter outside for an hour. My daughter would, the baby wouldn't. So that's not really an option. I'm leaning towards, as long as my wife says it's okay, trying it. But I have a feeling she won't say it's okay. But I think she'll probably be okay with it if I maybe I'll just go really early. Well, I wouldn't want to do it when they're sleeping, because then if they wake up and no one's here, that's not good. But I may try to just sneak into the gym, and hopefully there won't be that many people in there. Yesterday, there's windows to it, and I could see it when I walked by. Yesterday, there was 4 dudes in there working out hard, and then just it's a small space, and they're just all huffing and puffing. I'm like, oof, I don't know about that. I mean, that's too many people. Because it's a small room, but we'll see. Oh, Ken says, when my kids were young, I would take them to the track and let them play in the long jump sand while I ran around the track. You know what? That's a really good idea, Ken. There is a playground that the kids really like that is adjacent to the track. Only problem is it's not exactly adjacent, and it is very close to the front path and stuff. So I wouldn't want to leave them completely unattended. I think that they would go crazy watching me run around the track for an hour. But maybe if I brought them but I also feel like if I brought them to the track, there's probably some going to be some super intense soccer match going on over the weekend. So maybe they could just watch that. I'm not sure. It's not a bad idea, Ken. I like that. I like where you're going. Maybe my other thought was I'll bring them to a playground and I'll run around the playground 100 laps. So we'll figure it out. Adam wants to know, with global warming and the blossoms popping earlier, will I have to move the race earlier? I think that there's, at least for now in the near future, I think they're going to be okay. So I've been doing a little bit of YouTube watching about cherry blossoms in general, or at least the DC cherry blossoms. And they say they bloom anywhere between mid-March and mid-April. And so there's still a couple of week window for that race. And apparently there's a tree that they call the indicator tree or something like that. It's one tree that is I don't know how this works. Maybe that's how they plan the orchard or whatever. But it's the oldest of the cherry blossoms that were planted. And it blooms about 10 days before all the other ones. So it's once you see that one go, then you're all right, hurry up and get down to DC. So I guess it depends on when that one starts going. But they do say it's weather dependent or temperature dependent. So, yeah. All right, let me scroll down really far behind you. Mark says the kids are more capable than we think. They'll be fine. Yeah. I used to, when my wife would travel, I would just leave them up here while I walk the dog, And then my wife was like, don't do that. That's a bad idea. And I'm like, I'm going right outside. The dog is lazy, and he doesn't like to be outside. So he goes outside and he poops and pees, and then he comes back in. It's fast. And then a couple of times where I had done that on a couple of trips. And then the next time I went on a trip, my wife, it was middle of winter and there was a snowstorm. And I was like, oh, how'd you manage with the girls and the dog? And she's like, oh, I just left them up here. They were fine. See? Cody Davis is here. Says, little late. Glad I made it. Hello, everyone. All right. Good to see you, Cody. That reminds me. I totally forgot about all these drinks I was supposed to drink. All right. I'm going to start just reaching for them in whatever order that they are next to me. Next color. I don't think I'm going to like this one at all. Even though, you would think I would like it. But it's called Blackout Berry. Next one. Superior Hydration. Blackout Berry is it's black and purple on the bottle. Let's see how it tastes. I don't usually like things that are berry. Oh, it smells like cough syrup. It's not bad. It reminds me a lot of the fruit punch. If they switched one bit, it's we switched one berry, or the juice, whatever juice concentrate that they use, or whatever flavoring that they're using. And it has a little bit more of a, almost kind of like a blackberry type of hint to it. It's not bad. I think that I would like this frozen and shaved into an Italian ice. But as a drink, I don't think I would pick that one again. That one is not good. All right. Let's go to We'll do this one next. I think this one, I don't know. I like this flavor for smoothies, but I don't know if I'll like it in a regular drink. Strawberry banana. Let's try this one. This one was really full. It was like filled like almost at the top. It smells like strawberry banana. This is good. It's not so banana-y. It's like a hint of banana. There's something else in here. What is that other? Oh, coconut. Yeah. I was like, there's 3 fruits on here. What's this third fruit? But it's the coconut. But yeah, it's pretty good. Again, a very mild flavor. And I don't know that I would pick it again. Because the longer and longer from the tasting that happens, the more the banana is coming out. I don't know how that works. But it's like time release banana. And that's not good for me. It's not good. Scott says that when he was young, my dad dropped us off at the movie theater for the Saturday matinee all day, $5, and then he played golf. Yeah, I mean, I think that for most of the people here, the way that we all grew up was very different than the way like kids are kind of like left. I mean, even just think about like the fact that your parents would just be like, hey, it's bright out. What are you doing inside? Get out of the house. Get out of here. Go play. And you would just like ride your bike and like go ring your neighbor's doorbell and be like, is Jimmy here? Can Jimmy come out and play? Like, you know, that kind of thing. You know, so like it was very different. I remember I would ride my bike like a couple towns over. I remember that seemed like an adventure to go to my friend Dan's house. And then we would just ride bikes all day and then go to 7-Eleven and get drinks like this, like these body armors. Or we would get Big Gulps or Slurpees, you know, or like the giant Gatorades. That was our big thing. We would just do that. So yeah, it was a little different. I remember in the summertime, my mom's like summertime daycare plan for me was like, she would drop me off at we lived in an apartment complex, and the apartment complex had a pool. And I must have been like 8 or 9 years old. But my mom would drop me off in the morning before the pool opened. I distinctly remember regularly waiting at the gate for the lifeguards to get there. And I would just go in and I would have I had my like pass, a towel, and like a couple bucks for snacks, I think. And I would stay there until the afternoon every single day. And there was a bunch. I wasn't the only one. And that's what we did. So, yeah. Lucas H says, bringing your kids to a track? Damn, that's a great idea. I'm totally going to use it with my 8-year-old. Thanks, Ken. I think that is it. I think that is a great idea. Frank said he did the grocery shopping alone at 10. My mom would always go to the grocery store with all the coupons, and she would hand me all the coupons and say, go. And so like I would just like pretty much literally run around the grocery store, making sure I found the right size, the right product, and then I would bring them back to my mom. And she would look at it and look at the coupon and be like, good. And then I would go get like the next one. Sometimes I would try to combine 2 on the same trip, you know? And that kept me busy. I super enjoyed that. But she never dropped me off there alone. I had a friend in one of the places that I lived in, like kind of junior high-ish time. So this would have been like a little bit older, 12-ish, 11. We lived in a little subdivision at the time. And we would get together and we would like ride our bikes to the Monmouth Mall. You had to cross like a big giant highway to get there too. But we would go there and just play video games at the arcade all day. But sometimes he'd be like, hey, before I go, we got to go to get my mom a soda. And he would be like, his mom would send him to there's like a Quick Check. Do you guys know what Quick Check is? It's kind of like a Wawa. And we would go there and he would have to get his mom a fountain soda. I just thought that was so weird. I'm like, why don't you just buy like 2 liters like a normal person? She's like, she likes it with the ice and she likes it fresh from the fountain. And I'm like, is there a difference? I didn't know there was a difference. And then we would go get his mom like a 32 ounce, like a Big Gulp. I guess it was 7-Eleven then that we were going to. I'm trying to remember. And then we would drop him off for his mom. And then we would go ride our bikes to the Monmouth Mall. All right. Lucas H says, anyone tried the Puma Velocity Nitro 2? I'm about 100 miles in the V1 and I'm loving it as a daily trainer. You know what, Lucas? I can't remember if I bought that or not. Oh, you know what? I had it in my cart, and then I was waiting for the next color of the Deviate Nitro Elite. And then I was like, do I want the Deviate Nitro Elite? I'm not sure I want the Deviate Nitro Elite. And then I was like, I think I was like on the airport on the way to California. So maybe I just need to order the Deviate the Puma Velocity Nitro too. Hopefully it's still in stock. Totally forgot about that one. Thanks for the reminder. Run Tommy says, by the time you get to Kid 4, your apathy level to their safety is diminished. That's really funny. All right, let's get to another flavor here. We got mixed berry. I like the color of the bottle. That portends well. But like generally like mixed berry, I'm not sure. I think there's like, it looks like a raspberry, a blueberry, a blackberry, and then what's that? That's the coconut on the bottom. So that's what we're going with. Let's see how that tastes. I keep thinking that I need to shake each one of these before I try it, but I'm like, oh, this is just, I mean, it says no artificial colors or artificial something. No colors from artificial sources. It says natural flavors and natural sweeteners. But I'm like, it's not like it's pressed juice, right? It's not from juice concentrate, or they would even say that, you know? So I'm like, I'm not sure what this is. So you certainly don't need to shake it, but I keep thinking I need to. And they're always so full. This one's like tipping over with how much liquid's inside. It smells like juice. I don't like this one. What am I tasting? Something's in here that tastes funny. Yeah, I don't know. Something's on about this one's off. It tastes like there's banana in it. But you know what? After drinking 6 of these or sampling 6 flavors, my taste buds just might be on overload at this point. So who knows? Chris Dyke said today he enjoyed the Scratch matcha green tea / lemon hydration mix for today for his workout. So refreshing. That is a good one. I think I need to get some of that. I like to just drink it though. Some of those Scratch flavors are better just to drink. Like when you want just a sugary drink, I guess. I also enjoy the Tailwind green tea is also really good. Is that what the flavor is? Tailwind green tea, I think. Also tasty. Yeah. Daniel M says back in the day, we used to have reverse curfews. Don't come home until later. Oh, yeah. That's right. Adam says, shoe anticipation. What about Brooks at a new Hyperion Elite? Puma breakout beyond Molly. Mizuno joining for super shoe game for real. Are they? Does Mizuno have a plated shoe coming out? Is it going to have wave plate technology in it? See, I feel like wave plate and gel are very similar in that I'm like, I just don't know. Do we still need those? Or, I mean, are those still relevant in the American or West, like I guess North American running market? You know? But I don't know anything about a Mizuno super shoe. I haven't seen anything. And then Puma breakout beyond Molly. I mean, I'm looking, I've been looking really closely at Dakota Lindworm and Annie Frisbee. I kind of like root for them like they're the hometown heroes, even though they're from Minneapolis. Or they're not from there, but they're up there. I guess Dakota's from Minneapolis, right? But I also think that Sarah Vaughan's just on fire right now. How does she do in the half marathon, though? So like, I think that there's certainly a lot of people who are, have a lot of momentum that are running for Puma right now, at least from the women's distance running. But I mean, their track and field athletes have been dominating for a long time. So, I mean, Sandy Cheeks just won indoor gold in pole vault. So, I mean, they're still doing really well. I haven't seen Karsten Warholm run yet this year. So that'll be interesting to see him run again. And the Brooks, the new Hyperion Elite, I'm not so excited about. I don't know. Maybe I'll like it. I think it looks better. I really like that. There's the white one. The white one I think looks great. The Hyperion Elite 2. But I've seen the Hyperion Elite 3. I've seen Tommy Runs has one. I thought I saw Believe in the Run had it. Someone else had it. I'm trying to remember now. And it just looks very similar to the Hyperion Elite 2, and I'm not super excited about that. I'm more excited about the Glycerin. That's the shoe that I'm most excited about. There's a knit version as well, but I think that's going to make it very heavy. But I think it looks great. So I might wait for the knit version of the Glycerin and just have that as like a casual / max cushion shoe. Although the Glycerin is one of those shoes that it's been historically in the max cushion category, but it's not really max stack height, but it's about comfort. But I'm super excited about that. And I think the Ghost is getting nitro foam treatment too. It might be time for me to try a Ghost again. I haven't tried a Ghost since 11, 10, something like that. So those are some things that I think are going to be really interesting. All right. Dan says, I once literally snuck across the Mexican border as a kid. That's a good story. That's a really good story. Amazing. Sean says, when my kids saw 80s movies like The Goonies and E.T., etc., they asked me if kids really rode their bikes with total freedom like that. Hell yes, we did, he says. Yeah, I mean, we totally did. I rode my bike everywhere. Your bike was your freedom. Like when your bike wasn't working, oh man, that was terrible. You were stuck. But I mean, it's like we grew up like trying to figure out like, oh, that's Dan's bike. Dan's over there. Dan, like you knew like where people were because you saw their bike in the neighborhood. Like, oh, Dan and Jimmy are hanging out today. I got to go to my piano lesson. That stinks. Like you would have that. And then as we got older, we looked for where each other's cars were. You're like, oh, there's Dan's car. So it was like, that's how you knew where you just had to roam to find people because we had no way of contacting each other. So it was very different. It was very different. You know what's funny is like, we hear all these stories about like the East Africans are so good at running because they have to run everywhere. Like, it's not like from there, like we developed all this really great bicycling talent, it's too bad. Can you imagine though, if that was the story, if at the Tour de France, they were just like, and we're not really sure why the Americans are dominating all of a sudden. It must be because in the suburbs, they just ride their bikes all day. No, the parents don't let them come home. They can't they can't come home until the sun sets. And they just ride their bikes in the subdivisions all day long. Can you imagine like French commentators saying that in French accents? That would be ridiculous. I mean, do you think that's how ridiculous it sounds when like Western like pundits are like running pundits are like, well, the East Africans are so good at running because like they have to run to school. Like, yeah, I don't know. I know it's not a direct comparison, but like, I just feel like kind of weird. Kind of weird. All right. Rain Runner knows I'm going to eat any more tamarind today. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a break of the tamarind. I like to think I'm a very adventurous eater, but the tamarind took me on a journey because there was two kinds and they had very different flavors. And I'm like, I like tamarind, but I'm like, oh, that you can't just like bite into that like an apple, which I did. All right. Stephen Robinson says about these body armors that the fruit punch is his favorite. So far, I'd have to say that's my favorite too. The coconut tropical coconut, which I would never pick, ended up so far being my second favorite. All right, there's 3 more. All right, I'm gonna do this one next. Watermelon. You never know with watermelon because sometimes watermelon is good, sometimes it tastes like nothing. Like good, by good, I feel like Jolly Rancher watermelon is the pinnacle of watermelon flavored things. But most of the time when you get watermelon, it's just like, I can't taste it. This smells weird. I mean, I don't know what watermelon smells like because it's so much water. What does it smell like? This smells like berries. It kind of tastes like watermelon candy. Like if you melted if you put a watermelon Jolly Rancher in coconut water and let it like steep, I guess that's kind of what this tastes like. It's not bad. Not bad. When you first drink it, it's like, oh, this is a little too sweet, a little too concentrated of a flavor. And then when you're done like after you swallow, then it's like, that was a little too watered down. A little confusing. Not sure that I would pick it again. Still, two favorites are fruit punch and tropical coconut. Strawberry grape is just fun. The Mamba Forever flavor, that's a pretty good one. I like it. Dad and Al's also excited about the Catamount. Are they updating the cat? Are we going to get a Catamount too? Or is it just going to be new colors of the Catamount? And it says, there used to be loads of us riding about on our bikes. People would freak out and think it was a gang now. Yeah, I think that like, if I saw like 6 or 17 like kids on bikes, like in Stranger Things like that, but if I saw that like coming down the street here in Chicago, I'd be like, teenagers. Yeah, I'd be grumpy about it. I'd be like, what are they up to? I'm like, they're up to no good. There used to be a group of kids that would come in our back parking lot before they put some extra fencing up, because there's a little spot that there's a ramp that goes down to like an underground garage, and the garage is underneath the building. And there's a little ramp part that you could get up to and then like curl down, and they would just basically like ride the curve and like hop down. They weren't very talented skateboarders, but like every time like they would come in, I didn't want to yell at them because that's like very much old dude get off my lawn energy, and I was just like super annoying. But any noise that happens in that back parking lot just echoes, because there's a high-rise building here and another high-rise building on the other side, so sound just echoes all the way up, and I could just hear their skateboarding. And which I don't mind that sound, but then it was all a lot of like, well, the sound of young boys trying to act like they're older and tougher than they really are. And so I was like, this is so childish, because they were kids. And I just wanted to yell out the window, like, go back to your suburbs. And but I never did. And every once, like after a while, they'd be there, and then the maintenance guys in the building would come out and kind of chase them away. And then they would run off and hop into like a beat up old Toyota Camry. And I'm like, oh, they're totally going back to the suburbs. So I don't know. I've become that older generation now, I guess. New Veteran does say, though, that I feel like some of the success of the Colombian cycling climbers came because they had to ride up mountains to get everywhere growing up. Yeah, it just didn't work for the Americans, though. So it works for everyone else, but it doesn't work for the Americans. I guess American cycling, well, I guess, Lance Armstrong is debatable if that's an American cycling success story or not. But, yeah, I don't know. But it never got tied back to, like, kids having to find something to do in the neighborhood so that their parents could get dinner on the table in the subdivisions. So, yeah. Cody Davis says he was able to snag a pair of the Metaspeed Skies from Running Warehouse. Not the new colorway, but the red with the yellow midsole. That's also a really good one. That one, the midsole just looks so thick. He's looking forward to wearing in the 10 miler next week. Yeah, there you go. I think I'm going to wear the yellow ones or the orange ones for the Cherry Blossom 10 miler. I think it's going to be really fun to try and run fast 10 miles in that shoe. So I'm looking forward to it too. I hope you enjoy it, Cody. Daniel, expanding on that Mexican border crossing situation, he says, the story was, we lived on the border and snuck under the border fence to go into a cave and start a fire. ... Kids, am I right? So there was a wall there and it didn't stop you from being able to cross. Okay. That's a great story. That sounds like a really fun adventure, though. That sounds pretty amazing. Can you imagine if you ended up getting like detained on the other side, though? Oh boy, you'd be in so much trouble. But I'm sure that was all part of the fun. Daniel M says, if you melt a Jolly Rancher, that's called a sullen farmer. I don't think I've ever heard that before. All right, let's do this one next. I've been staring at this one for the whole time. This is the reason. This one is the reason why I decided I would do the body armor for the not a mukbang, but for happy hour today. This one is Goldberry. It's gold. I don't understand. Like, I don't know what Goldberry is. There's no. All the other ones have had pictures of the fruit that it's supposed to be on the label. This one is just gold. So what flavor is Goldberry? It says gold is never given. It is earned through unrelenting hard work and dedication. With potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, and no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes, Body Armor Gold is the hard-working hydration needed as you, quote-unquote, go for gold. Who writes this stuff? All these are gluten-free and have no caffeine, by the way. This smells like... You know what smell this is? This smell is when you have communion and you have grape juice. Whatever brand grape juice that is, that's the smell. And it tastes like it. This is just grape juice. This is just grape juice. Maybe it's like golden grapes or green grapes. That's probably what it is. I think it's called white grape juice. That's what this is. I think. In terms of the ingredients, filtered water, cane sugar, coconut water concentrate, citric acid, dipotassium phosphate, vegetable juice concentrate, ascorbic acid, magnesium oxide, and natural berry flavor with other natural flavors. So, Goldberry also can serve as a communion drink in a pinch. All right, last one. Peach mango. Some of you guys have mentioned this was good. So I mean, peach and mango are flavors that I really enjoy, both to eat and to drink. So when some of you guys said this was good, I knew that this was one I should save for last. Smells delicious. Oh, this smells good. This is good. This is my favorite. This is a good one. Oh, man. It's very sweet. I like it. I like it. And like the peach flavor, normally when you do peach flavor, it's kind of like almost like white peach is what it tries to imitate. This is more of like, I'm getting like a yellow peach flavor to it. It's a little bit more earthy. And the mango is in there. I feel the mango. And this is good. I like this one. All right. So number one, I'm going to go with peach mango. Number two, fruit punch. And number three, tropical coconut. So that's the rundown. The other ones are all okay. The Goldberry is kind of amusing. I like that one. Brendan said Costco has the golden berries every now and then. And my fiance absolutely loves them. Does she like grape juice? Ask her if she thinks it tastes like grape juice. And I also would like to know if she likes grape juice. Because I taste grape juice. All I taste from that is grapes. I don't taste any other berries. But maybe at this point, I've just tasted too many of these drinks. So. Adam says, wasn't Goldberry the name of the second Bond film? I think that's right. That's where they got it from. Oh, now I'm very full. Adam says, American kids don't ride bike the way they do in Belgium or the Netherlands. I'm guessing many Americans rode to the mall and hung out there. That's how I used it. It wasn't like exercise. We didn't enjoy being on them. I mean, the bikes were fun, but they were a means to an end for the most part. You know, that's how we got to our friends' houses when our parents wouldn't drive us or when our parents were still at work. That's how we got to the mall. And I certainly spent a lot of time hanging out at the mall. I mean, like mall rats. It's like it's set in New Jersey. It's set. I mean, they didn't film it in my local mall, but it's like set in my local mall. So like that's, that, I mean, that a lot of those View Askew movies, make me homesick a lot of times. All right. New Vetra says, is there a new high stack magic speed in the wings? I thought I saw something like that. I don't know the stack height for the new magic speed, but I've been told that I'm going to like it a lot. So I'm very excited for it. They told me that the magic speed has been selling really well with a younger demographic. And so that tells me that they're probably going to keep investing a lot of money in the magic speed, which I think is good. I think it is basically, to me, like a updated Evo ride. I'm not really sure, other than the fact that there is a plate in it or a half plate in it. I'm not really sure what the difference is from an Evo ride, but ultimately I don't care because I like the Evo ride too, or Evo ride as well, So that's a good one. But if they could continue updating that shoe, I think that's a good thing. Especially if it reaches like a new market for them too. Or not a new, but like a different market than they tend to be hitting. And Frank says, going back to the cycling thing, the thing with British cycling is that Britain decided they were going to win cycling in the London Olympics. So they built like 100 velodromes and then had a huge investment in after-school programs. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it takes. Like either like the population, the local community has to really enjoy the sport, and there has to be like that desire to funnel kids into that sport, or the sport has to be there for kids to kind of like fall into, and probably both, So I think for those East African countries, like kids want to be professional runners there. At least I've never been there, but that's my understanding. Just like kids over in the US want to be in the NBA or play football, So it's like the draw is already there. That's where people want to go. All right. Antonio Rodriguez says, hey, just made it in. I'll just start from the beginning once you sign off. All right. Better late than never, Antonio. Welcome. And Lou Boy says, favorite hat to race in during the summer. I really like the Path Project's Big Bench trucker hat. There's two versions. I have them both. The first version I tend to like better. The second one is a little bit bigger. There's a little bit more volume in the hat, and they said that most people complain that it was a little bit too small. I like them both. That's probably my favorite because you can wash it a million times. It's just a little bit floppy, but so it's kind of just stays the same always. It's that mesh material, and then the part that is on the front of the hat is like a moisture wicking material that's very thin, so like it just doesn't get too hot. So that's that's probably my favorite summer running hat. But like I have like a million running hats. I'm always looking for another running hat. But that's a good one. All right. And Brendan says about the Goldberry, he says his fiance loves this flavor, but he also confirms she does indeed like grape juice. So I think it's just grape juice. All right. And Duckies Are Cool says, thoughts on the Saucony A9 and the Fast Twitch? I think that it's a shoe designed, like it's one of those things where like everything, if it stays around long enough, it becomes popular again. So I feel like that shoe has been not popular for a really long time. But this year with the Takumi Sen 8, with the Nike one, you guys know what I'm talking about. That 5K, 10K shoe, I know the name of it. It's just, it's like one of those things at the tip of my tongue. I think I'm on sugar overload is what's happening. But that one, those two shoes have people looking at like, okay, what are good 5K road shoes again? What are good like road mile shoes? And then that's where I think the A9 and the Fast Twitch kind of come in. So I think that like that shoe's been slowly iterating over the years with many people kind of really looking at it. And I think it's probably really well suited for it. But I probably won't get it just because I don't race that many races that would require it. So it's not really for me. Oh, yeah. The Streak Fly. That's right. I can't believe I didn't remember that. A lot of you guys are talking about CLE caps. for summer running. I generally like the cycling looking ones are the ones that I like the best from Cieli. The mesh is giant, so there's like huge like air holes for just like all the sweat to come out. So I do like that. And then I have a variety of other Cieli hats. I usually like them all. They usually all fit me really well, but they vary in terms of like how, like, do I want them for like spring weather or summer weather? So it kind of depends. All right. I think that's a good place to leave it for today, guys. Tomorrow, when we talk about kind of like the stuff that you guys, I think everyone here already knows about that shakeout run and heading over to DC for the Cherry Blossom 10 miler. And then I'll kind of like give an update on the recovery and kind of what my plan is going to be for like those next couple of weeks. And then I got to confirm whether or not I am for sure going to grandma's. And then like if I am, I got to start thinking about what the plan is for that, but that'll probably be a different video. But so there will be a video tomorrow. It won't be a super long. It'll just be a quick kind of like doing okay, still here guys kind of video. So that'll be tomorrow. And then we will do another live stream. Same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully I see you then. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.